My name is Jennifer Lowe. My home institution is Florida Atlantic University. I'm the special editor of a segment of performance reviews, all written by Ukrainian Shakespeare scholars about productions featured in the first Ukrainian Shakespeare Festival, the first ever, something they're very proud of. The Ukrainian Shakespeare Festival has been in train for years, but I was quite surprised to find out that it wasn't hindered, but spurred on by the war. Theater is very important for Ukrainians, especially their connection to Western Europe. And Shakespeare is a way of signifying for Ukrainians that their traditions are for Western Europe and not with Russia and the Russian bloc. So there was a greater push to do this once they were attacked in 2022. And the festival came together with the work of a lot of people, both theater practitioners and scholars. I've been involved with a lot of different things involving Ukraine, starting with a special panel on how to help Ukrainian Shakespeare scholars at the 2023 Ezra conference, European Shakespeare Research Association. And as a result of that, I was a part of a masterclass teaching Ukrainian Shakespeare scholars how to write performance reviews for Western publications. I collaborated with one of the scholars when I attended a Shakespeare Festival in Romania last summer. And at that point, they were tremendously excited that Ukraine was sponsoring its first Shakespeare Festival ever. And when they asked for support, I offered to contact Pete Kirwan, for whom I've written several reviews, and float the idea of a special section on reviews from the Ukrainian Shakespeare Festival. I was delighted when he said yes, and then I collaborated with Natalia Torkut, who runs the Shakespeare Center, the Ukrainian Shakespeare Center, and she and I worked together to find reviewers in Ukraine who would be able to attend. One of the things that I found about Ukrainian Shakespeare is that it draws on Ukrainian traditions, Ukrainian history, current Ukrainian concerns. Their Shakespeare is not just Shakespeare, it's Ukrainian Shakespeare. It's very important to them not to do Shakespeare merely for the sake of connection with the English tradition, but primarily to create works of art that represent their country, their ideas, and their history. And this is part of a country, part of the tradition for a country whose situation as an autonomous nation has been such an issue for the last century. I hope that readers will find the productions as interesting as I do and find a new kind of political Shakespeare as significant as I see it. We tend to think of Shakespeare in terms, at least as an American, I think of Shakespeare in terms of our traditions, our concerns with race and gender. Colonization for Ukrainians doesn't mean the colonization of Western European powers. It means the ways that Russia has tried to colonize Ukraine. So they see these projects as decolonization, de-Russification of their native traditions, their autonomous Shakespeare, their autonomous theater. I wouldn't have been able to do this without the help of several people. Michael Dobson, who wrote a letter of support for the project, Natalia Torkut, who organized the reviewers, Irina Chuzinova, who works at the theater and helped to organize the festival at Ivano-Frankivsk. All the reviewers who took time to write this at a time when they had power cuts that made it very difficult to access email or even use their computers. My respect for the people involved just grew and grew over the course of the project.